In this video, we will share some tips about the usage from StrategyQuantX that you can see running here in this Chrome browser. And that's already the first tip I want to share with you. Instead of running StrategyQuantX like you always do, you can also do the following. You start the SQCLI, that's in the StrategyQuantX folder. In this case, it's recommended to start it as an administrator, because only then it will start on another screen. And then you can start any browser of your choice with this URL here. Forget this part, only this URL here. You will, okay, let me just pause the StrategyQuant here. You see I pause it, okay. So then you start the StrategyQuant here with this URL, and then you can just normally use it. So this is tip number one. Why? In my experience, especially the new version is more stable in the browser. You will also find that the link to the StrategyQuant is displayed here in the SQCLI after you enter the GUI command. Okay, and let's come to tip number two immediately. Once you have started the SQCLI like I did here, you can type -h. And then you get all these things you can do. And the next thing I would recommend you is that you type -data action is update. So that's the first thing you can do. And then you will see that it will quickly, as I did it here, then it will quickly update all the data, which doesn't take long time in the SQCLI. And then once it's done, you will see nothing moves anymore. Then you just type -GUI, and then just that will happen. You will see UI started, you can access it on, and then you go to your browser and you enter this, and you will land in the StrategyQuant where it can work in the browser of your choice. Let's come to tip number two. Search for Smart Package Robot. Go to this page. Go to here and download the Smart Package Robot here, the standard installer, and install it on your computer. While you will not be able to use it without an expensive key file, this doesn't matter here, because the contained add-ons will still work without having the Smart Package Robot. And one of these add-ons in the installation program is this small program. It's called Desktops Manager. And with this, you can click on New Desktop. And what you then get is you get another desktop. And you have the default desktop. There's one thing I must tell you. This is something you cannot record, and I cannot record it, because the Camtasia program, which I use here for recording, or any other screen recording program will only record the desktop it's running on. Now you see we are now on desktop number 1. You can see it here in this small window. And the SQX is running on this desktop. On the normal desktop, you can do just other work, and you have the complete desktop free. And it will not be influenced by the SQX, and it will not be influenced by the MetaTrader or the MetaTrader 5. So the advantage is you have all this stuff that has to do with SQX on one desktop running, and you do your normal work on the default desktop. And with one click here, switch to selected, you switch to the other desktop. And on the other desktop, you will automatically also find this small tool. And with this, you can switch always back with just one click, which I can't show you here because it cannot be recorded. It could only be recorded if I would take a normal camera and you would see my screen from the normal camera. So this is tip number 2. Use the desktop manager and make the SQX on a separate desktop. This is what you see here also. So this is on a separate desktop. Here comes my next tip. And this is customize the database display. This is what you see here. See, I have paused the generation before, but I will let it now continue running because what I have seen, not more here. Okay, if you want to continue it running, you must be sure that you did not press something in the SQCLI, else it will not continue running. Just press enter and it will work again. So it will now continue running. So my next tip is customize. Yeah, and now we will pause it for a moment. It's just too late. He deleted it already. You see, it's gone. Okay, we let it continue running. So my next tip is customize the database display. And I will show you the points that I think are very important and also why. So of course you want to see the net profit. That's mostly interesting. Okay, let me pause it for a moment. Yeah, we got it. This is another tip. My next tip you will see, always take a look on the last generation switch, because many interesting strategies may appear here and StrategyQuant will just kick them in the trash. I will show you this example here. This or this. Let's take this one. So how do you customize this? So you customize it like this. You go here and then you make one of the default views. It looks like this. Let me just show you. The default view looks like, nah, not this, this. Yeah, possibly. So it doesn't really show you so much. This is the default view. Yeah, you see here something. Here you see the equity chart from the out of sample. So you see some things, but okay, let me check back. You can go now here and you can say create new view, and then you can here make add columns, and you can then move these columns here up with this arrow or down with this arrow. You can also delete the columns here if you press here. At the end you make save, and then you have your personal arranged view. Okay, we were interrupted by phone call, but now the next thing is, which parameters do you really need here in this point? Okay, I will show you one very interesting, or the two very interesting parameters, and we will just wait a moment. I will press here, here. Okay, just for you to know. Now I must stop. Pause. Pause. Oh, good. If you wait too long, SQX will delete the good strategies. It's like that. Okay, because this one has a large drawdown, possibly. So, okay, which parameters are really interesting? So the first thing, I will show you my data. So what you see here is I have the normal training time here until today to February 2025. And then I have from 2022 to 2020, this is the red period, I have the out of sample testing period. So the out of sample testing period, this is this chart here, the OOS, out of sample. So this is the equity chart. So the, what is this? Portfolio. Let me make here a change. Mini equity chart portfolio. I want this to be the in-sample part. So, save changes. So now you see it. So we have here the, let me just check. 1, 2. So you can press 3 times, and the sorting is here. The lowest are up. The second time is the highest are up. And the third one is it's unsorted, just in the direction when it was created. So we need the highest up in this case. And then we have here the normal equity chart. We have the out of sample equity chart. And we have the in sample equity chart. You can also see here the gray part. That's also the out of sample part. So this part, a little bit larger, is in fact what we see large here in the third part. So what else do you really need? Also for me, interesting is of course the symbol, the time frame, the number of trades is important. I prefer strategies with a large number of trades. The net profit is definitely interesting. So if you look at my money management, you will see we have started with 1,000 euro. And the time was just from 2020 to 2025. And if it ends up with 44,900, that's okay. That's not bad. So, but the point is, that's really interesting is if we go here to the results and we look at the list of trades. Now let's just take this one. And what you see here is list of trades is blue. Here is no red. Yeah, here's one red trade, and maybe we should add a stop loss to the strategy to make it really good. But what you see is it's all blue, and this is most important. Why? Because it will save your nerves. And how do you get strategies that are mostly blue? I will show you the bad strategy. Just a moment. So this strategy is not so good. Let's take this one. So you see, you win something, and then you lose something, you have a win, you have a lose again, you have loses, you have win. That's not so good. Why is it not so good? These are already selected strategies, so they are not too bad, but they are also not too good. The problem is, if you have such a strategy, it will go on your nerves. You want a strategy that has a lot of consecutive wins. And this is one of the main parameters that I recommend you to take a look at. And this is average consecutive wins. So these strategies I'm doing here are only long strategies. They have no short part, so they can be later combined with short strategies. They are separately created. That's another tip. We may come to that later. But you see here, we have in the out of sample part, which is here, a nearly linear growth. Let's see that here, equity chart. So nearly linear growth with some drawdown. Okay. Here was the largest. And the in-sample part, that's the in-sample part here. And the out-of-sample part. This was even better than the in-sample part. So out-of-sample is that part that is not been trained and is just the algorithm is used on that part without it has been trained on that part. That's why this part is even more interesting than the in-sample part. And you see here, it's really good. With the in-sample part, it's even a little bit worse because we have here a small drawdown. So, okay, but the point about here is we have 135 consecutive wins. This means your nerves are really, you will feel good with this strategy. And this is what you see when you go to the list of trades. See here, this strategy always takes the same trade size, it's a fixed trade size, and it always makes a small win. Whatever it does, it doesn't get red until the end, where it makes a loss because it's the end of test. I don't really know why. Possibly it wouldn't make that loss if we would not end that test. But I see he is long time in this trade. Maybe the chart was really running against us here. 2024. Okay. The point is, what else is important? So we have here the number of consecutive losses. This means how many losses come one after the other. And this should be small. So I have in my settings, this must be smaller than 2. I don't want strategies with many consecutive losses because it's just not good for our nerves. So here you can also add the indicators. This is very interesting because you just see what the strategy is doing somehow. While you also can do like this. I have a script that will load the scripts and call a ChatGPT model and let it add the details how the strategy works to the script. That's of course also possible. But if you don't have that script, you will see here what indicators are used. So you see this strategy with 135 winnings in a row. It uses the low M as entry indicator. Or long, we only have long here. And it uses the opening price as opening indicator. And it has no exit indicator. And another thing that is interesting, or you should take a look, is the stagnation period. And this should be as small as possible and not be here so large. But the most interesting thing is the average consecutive wins, and this is in the out of sample, genau. And especially also it's interesting in the out of sample part. This is that part the strategy was not trained in. So you can whether thought about the out of sample part, or you thought generally all consecutive wins, and you see here, so this strategy may also be good. Let's take a look on the trades. So you see this is also trading really good. We have here 2 losses, one of them a bit larger, but the wins easily make up for that. And that's why the chart goes straight up. Especially the out of sample chart looks really good here. Let's take a look on the equity chart. So you see it's nearly going straight up. And here it's using again with a low M for entry indicator. This seems to be really good here. And then it uses price indicator, this one. And yeah, this one has a drawdown of 0. What drawdown is it? It's the out of sample drawdown. But the drawdown in the in sample is a little bit larger. But overall, it's an interesting strategy. Also, but now the point is, and this is my next tip, if I now watch for this strategy, so okay, we should save this strategy. So now you see I have, let's just take a look, trade analysis. Yeah, this is how a good trade looks, all green, 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 green. In sample, okay, in sample we have on Thursdays a bad day, and in July we had whatever event it was, we had a bad event, who knows, some crash or news event. Okay, but else this is a good, looks at least good. So this is also interesting. And okay, the source code. Yeah, okay, now let's save the strategy. The point is, you see I have stopped the thing, because if I let it continue running, the SQX will destroy it. We just take it away. So let's see, this one is good. This one with 80 is also good. This one here, 64 out of sample. Which one is it? This? Yeah, this is also good. 57 out of sample, 26 in sample. Now we have here sort of drawdown in the in sample part. We can leave it for now. Let's take these two. So these 3, I want to save them. So the first thing is, we save them now. Now I must open this so it finds the right folder and save. So reports saved. And I also want to save them as MQ5 files. In this case, I think we are in the right folder. So, because if I now let it continue running, you will see that the SQX will not give me these results. I have some setting wrong, maybe more some filters wrong, possibly. They will soon be taken away from us. So, and that's my next tip. Oh, 170. We should hunt in the 178 even, 153, 147. And the drawdown is 0. Yeah, let's take these and take a closer look later. Just see if the next one is good also. The next one, 77, 35, 60, 38. We can, for all cases, take them while they even have a drawdown. The number of trades is very low with this here. This one is maybe not so interesting just because the net profit is a little bit small. So let's save these quickly. Saved. Okay, and we need the NQ5 files. Okay. So this is the next thing. Also my recommendation is hunt in the last generation, because if your filters are as bad as mine, SQX will just destroy the good results and they will not land in the results. Okay, now let's resume and see what's going on. $178. So I think we have that already. So I make it blue for now. Oh, my blue is gone. 178. Okay, the 117 new. 119 is new. And here he uses other price indicators. Oh, 353. I will pause it. Okay, you see I was too slow. We had a 353 consecutive wins, but it's gone. The SQX destroyed it. So that's what I said. Why I say hunt in the last generation. Sometimes you will get some good strategies there. Again, the 178 is top. We start them one more time. 178 is on top. Who is better? Here you can see which 238 is better. Oh yeah, we want this. I paused. 178. Okay, let him continue. Ach, that's the 170. I want the 205. It has net profit 28,000. No, it's gone already. I don't really know the exact system, how this program works, but as said, hunt in the last generation, and you may find some good strategies you will not see otherwise. 183 is here with 56,000. Oh, I was too slow. It's gone already. We'll never see it again. It's gone together with the 353 we had before. So if you are really new to SQX, I can give you some general information you may already know if you have SQX for longer time. So one thing is you can set here the time frame from H1, D1, minutes, hours, days, and generally the smaller the time frame, the longer the SQX will need per strategy. So we are at 7 milliseconds per strategy, and that's a good value because we've already looked up 5,300,000 strategies in very short time. And that's important to get good strategies. It's just for these versions of SQX that you go through high numbers. That's why you will be better with 1 hour than if you always use M5, for example. Because if you make M5, it will not be 7, it will maybe 30 milliseconds, for example, typically. So also you need to make in the settings, in the genetic settings here, show last generation data bank for island gutter 1. If you don't have that, you will not see the last generation. Oh, this is also important. Here, if you click here, the standard, you have maybe the heap memory chart. The heap memory chart is interesting, but not most interesting. If you use the genetic algorithm, it may be more interesting if you have the genetic evolution info. Because you see here the generation number and which population you have on each island. This may be just more interesting. Also here you can choose whatever you think is the best thing you want to do. So the other things is, you see here how many strategies have been tested total. The time per strategy is interesting. The time per strategy is interesting. You can see here at rejected what the reason was why the most of your strategies have been deleted. Maybe that's the problem why I lose the best strategies here, because they did not fit any of these global filter values that I have specified, whichever it is. Or sometimes you get this backtest exception, whatever this is. Normally shouldn't happen. Maybe this killed my 353 strategy. Okay, you see, this time we are, 259. Let me stop that. We will get it. 259, yeah, we want that. And even out of sample, we have 193. And this means list of trades, I will show you. Look, as imagine you have this strategy running and you get these trades. This is a strategy you need. Only blue. So let's save it. Also as NQ5. Okay. So this is the other stuff that you can do with the smart package robot. So you can add such macros to any program, which you can call with a button click. So if you have the license. Okay, and then we let it continue. Well, let's quickly check the Monte Carlo. Yeah, trade analysis. This is how it must look. Everything green. That's not bad. So, and let's go on 259 average consecutive wins. This is the strategy what we want. So, okay. So, let's just, okay, what you can do is now, if you have the settings like me, this means this one is also not bad, but it's already gone. So it was just a moment, then we had it. Okay. The advantage you have, if you have the settings here, you will see that by the sorting you have, you will see which indicators are mostly there successful with your sorting. For example, I have the sorting for average consecutive wins or even average consecutive wins out of sample, whatever. 54 with 20,000 is not so great. So, and then you see on the first view which indicators support mostly as entry indicators and as price indicators your, this is not too bad, but it's already gone. Your sorting is, for example, my current sorting is supported maybe by the OpenM indicator as entry indicator, and we have price indicator here, ATR is nearly always. Then we have exit indicators. You can also see which exit indicator fits best to your, here we have 157 with 35,000. Already gone, I was too slow. And everything gone. Yeah, that is the hunting in the last generation. And here you can see which indicators support mostly your strategy that you like. And then you can set next time your data. VWeb is also there with 116. It's good. Can I stop it in time? No, it's gone. I was too late. It's gone forever. Okay, I was too late. It's again there. Pause. Yeah, this time we got it. 152, 79 consecutive wins in the out of sample part, 51,000 net profit. No warning. Let's take a look on the list of trades and on the statistics. So here it has one red time, but normally, let me say it like this, normally this strategy looks blue, and that's good. Okay, let's save it. Is this the only one? Yeah, the rest is not so interesting. It's MQ5 noch. Okay. And how did the Monte Carlo look here? Okay, this is not so good. Also we have some Monte Carlos who really go down. So this could be a sign that this strategy is maybe not so good. But okay, we can backtest it later with MT5 more and see if we can do changes here and there. I said this is another tip. If you want to do that, I am now here generating only long strategies. This means I have the setting here what to build. I have long only, and then I can build in a separate task the short strategies extra and put them together later. Which, and this is another tip, you can try with merge strategies. Okay, but let's resume. So, I think for now we are at the end of the video. I hope that you have seen some interesting tips that are not out of the box. Definitely not out of the box. And make the best out of it.